It's the Munster Hurling final replay between Cork and Waterford, live from Thurles, with the throw-in at 7 o'clock. Hello and welcome back to Thurles for the replay of one of the most prestigious titles in hurling, the Munster final. Well, of course, last Sunday Cork and Waterford played out a thriller here, and I suppose if this evening's game is anything half as good, then we'll all go home happy. I'm joined in studio by Cyril Farrell, Tomás Mackay and Gerald. The late goal from Tony Brown, as we said. Question is, can you come back now and do it this time?
Yeah, I suppose that is the big question, Michael. And if you look at it from a Waterford perspective as well, I mean, they were 4 points up in 10 minutes into the second half as well, and they didn't push home the advantage as well. And likewise with Cork, if you said 5 points up, 10 minutes to go, yeah, you will push on. They got the important goals, and you said yes, they will push on, maybe go 6, go 7 points ahead. But that never happened, and I think that is credit to Waterford as well, the way they were set up that day, their tactics that day. They were probably won over Cork on that basis, but their work rate around the field was just incredible, and they didn't panic. These guys are experienced guys. They've been around the scene so many times. Yep. We've seen so many late equalisers from Waterford, and that has been kind of embedded in their system, right? They don't give up until the last minute. A lot of question marks about Cork's performance, Michael, in the first half, certainly, and they'll be maybe slowing up with the ball and the possession, right? The amount of space given to John Milan in front of goal, and then in the second half particularly, we didn't have major ball winners in the key important areas, which was our half-hour line. So that's why their changes have been made on the team, is that we need to win more ball around the half-hour line.
You have no Sean O'Halpine this evening, and that has also caused a bit of a change around then in the defensive setup.
Yeah, you're expecting Shane Murphy to go in as cornerback, and Shane O'Neill will be moved from that position out to the wing-back position in place of Sean Og. I mean, Sean Og is a big loss, certainly, but I mean, Shane O'Neill is a fine hurler, right? Most people would say that he's probably a better half-back than he is a cornerback, but I mean, over the last 2 or 3 years, he was never going to get into that Cork half-back line with the three that are there already, so that was the next best position for him. But again, you may be asked the question, right, okay, you're taking a very experienced guy from cornerback as well, and maybe it shows the overall strength of Cork hurling, where we don't have a straight replacement to go in straight in for number 7 there for Sean O'Halpine, you know, so it's a big move, you know. Despite
the fact that Cork were within touching distance of us, Gerald Nan, the last day, a lot of people are now fancying Waterford.
Well, they are, because I think Waterford played the better hurling the last day. They were actually the better team, except that Cork got those suckle goals at the crucial time in the game. Then Waterford were chasing the game again, but they showed great character, came right back into the game, and I think everybody agrees that Waterford deserved to draw the last day, and now many people are fancying them for the replay. But did we see the real Cork last week? You know, that's the big question that's going to be asked tonight. This is the last chance for Cork, really. You know, we're going to judge them on the way to play tonight, because there are no excuses for Cork tonight. You know, you might say that an easy semi-final against Limerick, it didn't do much good for them. Now, they had a good game last week. If they're not up to the mark tonight, then I think their All-Ireland aspirations are really over. So that's what's at stake. You know, that's what's at stake tonight. So it's a huge game, not alone for Waterford, but I think it's even bigger for Cork tonight.
Ah, sure. Sir Farrell, the last we were mentioned there a moment ago was a thriller. It was actually a thriller towards the end of the match, and it was a good second half. The first half of the game wasn't particularly good. Will we see a different game here tonight?
You will. The first half, Cork played a very short game. Waterford closed down the space, and they had the hook, the block, the stop, and they stopped Cork from running kind of into a sack inside.
We talked about the changes on the Cork team as Cork come out onto the field here in Thurles. Waterford also have a change. They have Seamus Prendergast in from the start this time.
Yeah, I think he'll go in centre forward. He'll bring a lot of strength there, you know, and you know, probably Malumphil will go in corner. He'll be covering back out. He'll do a lot of work outside there. He'll do the work that Home McGrath was in there the last day to do. Like, the positions anymore, Michael, unless maybe up the middle, you're going to find them changing all over the place. But Prendergast is very experienced, very, very strong in there, you know, and like Moran will go wing. He's unorthodox well, but he's strong as well. They'll try to upset. If Waterford can stay in the game for the first 20 minutes and close down Cork again, they'll have a right good chance. But Cork will be there to try to open up early on and run up a kind of 4 or 5 point lead early on. If they do, it'll be hard to catch them.
By the same token, Tomás, you know, Davy Fitz, I have no doubt, will be sent to the Waterford players, and the reality of it is they were losing this match. They were going out. They were losing the Munster final until that last time. I mean, they couldn't have legislated for getting a goal in the last minute or so, whatever it was of the game, you know, so they need to up their ante as well.
Yeah, no doubt about it, and it's interesting, right, the two key positions, maybe the two centre positions, right. I mean, number 6 for Brick Walsh was outstanding for Waterford the last day, number 6. Likewise, Ronan Curran for Cork was outstanding as well, right. So you're seeing changes there. We expect Seamus Prendergast to win on top of Ronan Curran, obviously to deny him that ability that he has to take ball out of the air, win puck-outs, Waterford puck-outs, and likewise on the other side as well, that you're going to have Cusson in there to be a target for puck-outs as well, because like Brick Walsh was very, very good in that Waterford defence. And I mean, you'd expect maybe a different Cork this time round, right? I mean, the dirty ball, the breaking ball around the middle of the field, there wasn't enough hunger there wasn't enough aggression in their play to win those type of balls, and that was there in Waterford. And if they don't match that tonight, Cork will certainly be in trouble.
OK, time now to hear Claire McNamara.
Dennis, there's been a lot of talk about Sean Oak's hamstring during the week. Is he good to start?
No, he's we delayed it until the last minute really, but we've tried him out there a while ago, but he won't make it. So Shane Murphy is coming directly in there,
Okay. Now this was a game that you had within your grasp, I suppose, for a spell last week. A huge effort will be required again if you're to win that All-Ireland semi-final place.
Yeah, well, I suppose I think the game we were dead and buried maybe 10 minutes into the second half, and then we kind of forced the pace maybe, and everything went right for us for maybe 15-20 minutes, and it looked like we'd hung on, but I think probably it was a fair result overall.
Davey, here we go again. Have you made any changes to your team from last weekend?
Yeah, Seamus Prendergast will be in. He'll be starting, so he will. That's the only change we have from the starting lineup last week.
Now you fought your way back into it last Sunday. Do you see yourself as in a strong position now ahead of this replay tonight?
Yeah, we fought at the end all right, but I don't think we probably should have been in that position. We had a lot of possession last week, and for about a 15-minute spell we give it away. But Claire, last week is gone. It doesn't matter. Whatever happened last week is gone. The question we have for the lads this week are to prepare to work as hard, fight as hard, tackle as hard, and if we do that, we'll be thereabouts.
You think your bench will have a big impact this week?
Yeah, I think every bench has an impact, so it does, and certainly we're no different. We have a strong panel, but the things I've said to you are the key to what happens today, and you don't know about them things until you get out in the field.
Yeah, Davy Fitz there, of course. Cyril Farrell, it's kind of an unusual.
Are they going to be able to keep that work rate up tonight? That's the big question.
OK, that's what our panel think about how this game will go, but our reporter Claire McNamara is down pitchside with Ger Cunningham and Paul Flynn, who might have a different view on proceedings.
Yes, Michael, well, we'll wait and see. Ger Cunningham, firstly to you, no Sean Oak for Cork. How much of a loss do you think that will be?
Yeah, it's a big loss. Claire himself and Jerry O'Connor missing. There's a lot of experience now missing from the Cork team, with the two lads been missing. So hopefully I think the start of the game will be important for him to get into the game straight away to offset the loss of the two lads. He is a loss, there's no doubt, and also Jerry as well.
Now Cork looked to have it won last week, especially after those 2 goals went in, but they weren't able to close it out.
Yeah, I'd say they'll be disappointed with that. 5 points up with 8 or 9 minutes to go, they probably will be disappointed they didn't close out the game. But it's even Stephen again. That's last week, and hopefully you can put it behind him. I think the start of the game is going to be very important to get into the game early.
So Cork or Waterford?
Cork by 3 or 4 points.
Okay, Paul Flynn. People are always wondering who has the momentum after a draw. Many people believe it's with Waterford.
Well, Claire, I suppose after coming back from the dead, as Ger said there, Waterford people feel that they can go on and maybe win it today, but you got to feel that Cork have a little bit more improvement left in them. I think last week their forward line in general didn't function. Their inside line in particular was kind of non-existent. One of their best players this year, Pat Horgan, wasn't in it at all. So Waterford, while they have probably momentum coming in, I think Cork have more improvement in them.
And Michael Cusson on from the start this time, he'll be a big threat.
Big threat is right. He came on last week and turned the game in Cork's favour. Kind of stayed stationary at centre back when Michael Welch was kind of cleaning up. So a different threat today for Michael to deal with. But Cousins in himself is a ball winner. But will Cork play him, or will they play him inside? Niall McCarthy is listed as centre forward. So it's going to be, who knows what's going to happen.
Cork or Waterford?
Obviously, my heart says Waterford. Obviously, I think if Waterford do, I think if Waterford spread it out, they can win.
All right, that is the view from the sideline, Michael. Let's go back up to the studio.
All right, Claire McNamara, thanks very much. I understand there's going to be a 10-minute delay to the start of this game. We've just heard that a moment or two ago, so obviously...
Sunday's replay, if you talk about evenness and tightness between two counties, we all know it ended 2-15 each. In terms of scoring chances, it was 17 out of 30 each. They both had 9 wides each. They were level 6 times. There was not a puck of a ball between Cork and Waterford. Mike?
Yeah, and really a brilliant second half last week. The first half, I know the hurling wasn't great, but it was great hassling and harrying and tackling, and it was, it was more tactics than anything else. But the second half, it opened up into what we expect between Cork and Waterford. Brilliant hurling, 3 great goals, dramatic finish. And I think there's a lovely atmosphere. I know the crowd is not huge, but there's a nice relaxed atmosphere, and I just expect the game to take off from the start. It'll be interesting. I think Tomas was saying it there. Jerry O'Connor and Sean Oak out for Cork. A couple of lads in. Have they got the subs? We know that Waterford have plenty of options on their bench, but Cork maybe, if they do need to look for an impact sub. Michael Cousin did a huge job when he came on the last day, and that's becoming a bigger part of the game. I think you need to have these 2 or 3 lads to come in to change the course of the game, and I wonder do Cork have them on the bench. But every game takes on a life of its own, so I'm really looking forward to it.
Yeah, I have to admit that the Clara in County Offaly, Brian Gavin, it's his very first Munster final, and we're up and running. First touch, Owen Kelly, down towards Seamus Prendergast. Tussle for possession. Coming forward is John Gardner. Loses possession. Coming through the middle is Richie Foley. Flicks it outside to Owen Kelly. Had a great game the last day. He's continuing on. First score of the replay. It's this man, former Mount Sion star, now playing with Passage.
Yeah, Marty, Richie Foley, lovely pass outside. I made that comment coming up to the match last week that, you know, that's the type of score Waterford need to be getting, throwing the ball around, having a little look up, and that was great play. We see Michael Cusson gone in centre forward as we expected, and Seamus Prendergast playing in the corner as I thought he would. He's inside on Brian Murphy. I think we'll see him coming out for the odd puck out or whatever, but he's gone into the corner straight away.
Shane O'Neill is gone out to the sideline almost to get a quick puck out from Donal Oak, but I think the Cloyne and Cork keeper is going for distance. Tony Brown gets a touch on it. Linesman indicates it's a Cork ball. And the linesman is James Owens from County Laois over at the far side.
And you can see already, Marty, looking down, John Milan is the only Waterford forward inside nearly in 50-60 yards of the goals. Seamus Prendergast is way out the middle of the field. Stephen Malumphey is back in the half-back line, and Milan completely isolated.
Ball dropped in. Good hands. Clear down the field. Dropping it into the middle. There's a touch, just about. And away come Waterford again, coming through the middle. Bursting forward is Kevin Moore. Lays it off. First Seamus Prendergast. Being tackled by two Cork defenders. One of them is Brian Murphy, the other is Tom Kenny, who's back there helping out his defence. Murphy comes in again to try and scoop it out. It's going to be a throw ball, I would feel. And that's exactly what it is. Pulled by Prendergast. Coming forward is Shane O'Sullivan. He's definitely fouled. Free for Waterford.
Yeah, this player really has improved, you know, out of all recognition. He's been on around the panel for a few years, but he had a brilliant game the last day. Very, very strong physically, and that's something about that Waterford forward line as well. He's in the middle of the field, but Seamus Prendergast, Owen Kelly, you know, big men all over the half forward, and Stephen Malumphey very strong and won a great free there.
Well, we've spoken about it earlier. What a magnificent goal Owen Kelly scored the last day. His free taking is pretty impressive as well. 2 points on the scoreboard for Waterford, both of them credited to this man. Great catch. Michael Brickwatch lays it off to his captain, Stephen Malumphey. As always, the hard-working John Milan. Seamus Prendergast is there as well. Last one to touch the slither over the sideline was a Cork man.
Yeah, Marty, what a start by Michael Walsh. You know, the tactic, Michael Cusson 6'7", and the first two high balls have come down, Michael Walsh taking them out of the air, and he's been outstanding since that move back to centre back. You know, it's about 18 months ago. I think it was a league match against Kilkenny, his first match at centre back, and he's been brilliant there.
Richie Foley. It's a good cut, but it's just a little bit too strong. Shane Murphy, named at left half back, but starting as we anticipated at right cornerback. Shane O'Neill from Bishopstown is at left half. Frankie Murphy is in there, so too is Owen Murphy. Sideline ball would seem to favour Cork.
These are certainly ones we've seen Ben Toynton in the past. He hit a few wide last week, unlike him.
First sideline cut, dropping it in. Dangerous ball. Saki is around there. And so too is Tony Brown. Out for his own Murphy. A little bit of pressure from Fraggy. Sideline ball this time to Waterford. Dickie Murphy, the linesman, a man who's been in charge of 4 All-Ireland finals in his career.
And I'm really surprised, Marty, the Cork backs are following the men off out the field. There's only 2 Waterford forwards inside their own half of the field.
Owen Murphy down the middle towards Kevin Moore. Good hands. It's 1 against 1 up here for the moment. John Milan and Brian Murphy. Milan keeps it in. Shane Murphy. Hefty challenge on Milan. And to Milan's credit, he didn't even protest. Great catch again, this time by left half forward Michael Cusson. Big 6'7" lad. He's giving a throw ball. Tom Kenny coming through the middle. Good stick work. Needs a little bit of support. Frankie Murphy calling for it. Over the far side, it's his midfield partner Carl Nocton. Scored the first point the last day for Cork. He's doing it again 6 days later.
Yeah, good play by Tom Kenny there. Won a very hard ball, and you know the competition. Every ball that breaks, there's 4 and 5 lads. Brian Gavin's trying to let the game flow early on here, and a few hefty challenges going in. But you know, I think he's right to try to get a bit of a flow into it.
Tuck out by Clinton Hennessy. Nice little pick up there by Prendergast, Seamus. Out towards Richie Foley. This comes in, and there's a little bit of a push. The referee had blown his whistle. Shane Walsh was gone inside, but the referee clearly blew his whistle. Free taken by Donald Cusick. Aimed at Isaki O'Halpine. Ball given away to Carl Nocton. Turns to his right, drops it over this side, but there's nobody home, I'm afraid. Not in a Cork jersey, that is. Good pressure by Ben O'Connor. Poor defending, it must be said. Michael Cusson is there as well. And eventually it is Brick Walsh. Lays it back for Declan Prendergast. Tremendous pressure by Cork. Michael Cusson across the face of the goal and wide. Just that particular occasion, Brick Walsh just a little bit lax, wasn't he?
He was. He nearly had too much time on the ball, but the tackling of the Cork forwards, very impressive since the start of the game. We saw it from Waterford last week, and Kieran Murphy in particular in the corner there is after making 2 or 3 very, very good tackles.
Puck up, drops down on Seamus Prendergast. Brian Murphy is there. Just barely kept in play. Batted down for Cathal Nocton to give it plenty of distance. But it's heading towards the square and Thurles, I'm afraid.
Very, very frustrating for an inside forward. There was only maybe a 1 in 10 chance of putting that over the bar. That should have been played into straight on top of Isaki.
Dennis Walsh, I'm sure won't be pleased with that particular effort. Good hands again by John Gardner. Down towards Frankie Murphy. Owen Murphy going back to gather. Isaki comes into challenge. Gives it back to his fullback, Liam Lawler. 4 Mile Water. Little touch. Just a little bit by Stephen Malumphey. Sent in. Dangerously. Towards John Milan. Owen Cadigan. Was he holding his hurling? 2 of them are at it. Battling. Fair and square. It's the Cork fullback that's coming out with it. Laying it off first, Cathal Nocton. Good play by Cork. Sent down the middle. Nobody home again. Brick Walsh over this side. Good work by Shane Murphy. Shane Walsh, however, spotted the little illusion. Grabbed the possession, is bearing down on Donald Cusick. It's a frontal charge, the referee is indicating, and it's a free in for Waterford.
Yeah, see Owen Kelly pointing at the square. He's maybe thinking he was fouled inside the square. Shane Walsh hadn't. Yeah, well, I don't think Brian Murphy wasn't going to get out, or Owen Cadigan wasn't going to get out of the way. You know, he couldn't. He hadn't much choice. But I think that foul was maybe inside the.
Certainly was inside the large rectangle.
Inside the large rectangle, yeah.
Owen Kelly taking the 20-metre free. And I'm pretty sure he's going to tap this over the bar. 3 points for Waterford. 3 points for Owen Kelly.
Yeah, Shane Walsh did very well there. A lot of people in Waterford think maybe he's an out-and-out full forward. You know, he's a goal getter, but did very well there. Very clever on the ball and won a good free.
Just getting a little bit of attention is Shane Murphy. This is within Cork, ex-Cork minor and All-Ireland medalist. Won 2 counties with his club. So he's coming to the starting 15 with quite an impressive CV. Attention for Shane Walsh is delaying the puck out from Donald Cusick, but Walsh is okay. Former dual star, in fact, with Waterford, scored the winning goal against Kerry in the Munster under-21 football final all of 7 years ago. I'm sure you remember that particular game. Got huge headlines. That'll be the headlines tomorrow, I wonder. Declan Prendergast. Nice combination play in towards Stephen Malumphey. Picked out, however, by Ronan Kerr. Clever ball, far as Ben O'Connor. Goes for distance, all the way down towards Isaki. O'Halpy. Clinton Hennessy. Liam Lawler wanted it as a hand pass. Goes down for Shane O'Sullivan instead. Tom Kenny unable to hook or indeed to block. Rebound. Falls into the path of one Shane Murphy. Called the possession, it would seem, and Waterford are incensed. And perhaps, in fact, he stood over the sideline, but either way, it looked like a foul as Carl Nocton drops it in again. Clinton Hennessy comes off his line. Fraggy Murphy unable to block that particular clearance, and it goes out over the sideline. Sideline ball for Cork.
Yeah, certainly Davy is getting very animated. I said it was steps he was really talking about there.
Yeah, it was steps.
Took 7 or 8 steps there, and right beside the Waterford dugout.
The whole Waterford dugout absolutely hopped out of their seats.
Davy is getting a little bit excited down there. We're used to that, I think, at this stage.
Batted down towards Pat Horgan. Noel Connors with him. Who touched it last? James Owens from Wexford, by the way, not from Leash. He indicates it's a Waterford ball. Noel Connors, Waterford minor a few years ago, won a couple of parties in All-Ireland colleges with De La Salle in 2007 and 2008. Former college star, and he's making it at the highest level as well. Another sideline ball. A little bit of pushing and shoving going on. Patrick Horgan going over the sideline.
Yeah, certainly no soft freeze been given tonight. He just knocked out over the line there. He's trying to keep the ball in. Wrestled nearly over the line.
Richie Foley wasn't letting him go anyway, that's for sure. Here's Tony Brown. Easy ball for Tom Kenny. Dropping it in towards Fraggy. Runs on to Isaki. Once he has the ball in hand, it's trouble for Waterford. And that is wide. Good chance for Cork here. Isaki did really well, except for the finish.
Yeah, he did, but I think Liam Lawler, in fairness too, he kept him out. You know, he pushed him away from the goals and did his job. It was a difficult angle at that stage. It would have been a great goal to be able to put it over into the far top corner.
Stephen Malumphey obviously has helmet problems from Ballyduff Upper. Brian Gavin kindly trying to fix it for him. All-star, of course.
Looking forward to seeing him.
They're certainly hoping to hold on to him, and his reputation in the Waterford has certainly been gathering headlines over the last year or so. You never know, we might see him here in the Munster final replay. Sideline ball again for Cork. No Cork forward yet to score as we approach the 15th minute. And in fact, Cork haven't scored since the 5th minute. Easily gathered by Tony Brown. Whips it down towards his full forward line. Gathered here by Brian Murphy. Carl Nocton goes for height again. Down the middle. Isaki is coming out. Hops by him. And indeed Liam Lawler. Rick Walsh is back there. Lays it out for his Declan Prendergast. Takes the hit from O'Halpine. Gives it up for Shane O'Sullivan. Good play, Waterford. Confident play, in fact. Kevin Moran just got a touch to it. Battling with Ronan Curran. Almost picked up by Shane Murphy. More importantly, it's this man that has it. John Malone. First touch, first point.
Yeah, that's a great score, Martin. Rick Walsh won a great ball out to Declan Prendergast, who's having an outstanding season since coming on at half-time against Clare. after stopping the short puck out there, but a brilliantly worked score and a great finish by Milan.
And that started all the way down the Waterford half of the field, started by Brick, as you mentioned. Great movement.
Great
well
pick.
picked up here by
yeah.
John Milan. 4 scoring chances for Waterford, 4 points. Not a bad statistic. Here's Shane Walsh. Well blocked by Tom Kenny. Carl Nocton low into the corner. Good ball to Isaki O'Halpine. Liam Lawler with him. Lawler has to try and get there. Isaki is there, all 6'7", trying to get by himself and Owen Murphy. Still Isaki. Lawler is down on the deck. Referee blows the whistle. Isaki O'Halpine was travelling, taking too many steps. And I know you can't see it, but Davy Fitz, I know he's 5'3", but he went up 6'7" himself. He was delighted with the defending of Lawler.
Yeah, he did. Won a good ball there. Yeah, don't he? Maybe 5 or 6 steps. You can't argue with it.
Liam Lawler is on the deck, and the umpires haven't raised their hands, but the referee, Brian Gavin.
I think Brian Gavin saw it. He just told him to get up and get on with it.
A bit of messing around. Loose ball for centre half back Ronan Kerr. Down towards Fraggy Murphy. Got a little touch to it. Fraggy again. Good defending by Brick Walsh. Loses possession when trying to get it up under the hurl. Coming through the middle, Niall McCarthy. Referee again has blown his whistle. Dead straight in front of the post. And this should be a score for Cork. "12 minutes, remember now, since Cork last scored. And they are playing, well, it's hardly even worth mentioning. It's only a crossfield breeze. Very, very light.
Yeah, like last week, low scoring, but plenty of battles going on there, personal battles that have to be won early in the game, and no easy frees been given out there. So you have to really work hard for your score. Great tackling on both sides. So not maybe flashy hurling, but exciting, interesting at the same time.
Wonder what happened between Liam Lawler and Isaki. Watch the number 3. Oh.
Yeah, definitely went with the head. He's going to be in trouble for that one.
That is not nice. And I'm sure the CCCC will be looking at that later on as Cork have a chance. It's scrambled and way off the line. Wonderful defending, and guess who? Noel Connors. This should have been a goal. It was heading towards the goal line. Just a little touch. And just there, Connors got there. Wonderful defending as Pat Horgan chased after it. Well done, number 4.
Great cornerback play. Look, we see it again. Pat Horgan did everything right. Lovely little flick. Was probably certain it was going to be a goal, and Noel Connors dashed in. Great defending and cleared a certain goal.
.65. Light mist beginning to fall here now in Semple Stadium as John Gardner takes the 65. Looks good from here. Umpire confirms that is the case.
Yeah, Marty, you'd have to say he's absolutely having an outstanding year, John Gardner, scoring from frees, from play, but he's defending brilliantly as well. Had a great game here the last day, and playing some of the best hurling of his life this year.
Only has one All-Star 5 years ago, and yet he's 27. You feel John has been around for so long.
Well, Tommy Walsh, I suppose, is there as well. He gets most of them. He's 1-1 every year since he started playing inter-county hurling, so not an easy jersey to get.
You can't argue about Tommy Walsh, that's for sure. Brilliant hurler. Tom Kenny steps away from the challenge. John Milan and Seamus Prendergast. Ben O'Connor. Good calling. Michael Cusson. Barely kept in by Isaki O'Halpine. Liam Lawler is there. Flicks it forward. Good play again by Waterford, but ball didn't hop right for Tony Brown. Bit of a scramble. Richie Foley got a touch to it. Carl knocked it, more importantly, has it in his hand. Looking around, has to go all the way back. Whereas Shane O'Neill, remember, he's playing at left half back despite wearing number 2. And that ball is also wide.
Yeah, Marty, bad wide. But before that, Michael Cusson just, there's one thing about a high ball, but it was a completely, there was no shape to it at all. Just a Hail Mary ball into the square. And Isaki is big, but he can't be winning those impossible balls.
Clinton Hennessy doing a Donald Logue, taking the quick puck out. Sent in by Shane O'Sullivan. Here's Donald Logue. No time to put it into the hand. Drives it down the wing. Good calling between Ben O'Connor and left half forward Michael Cusson. And that's wide again. Really, the ball should be going into Isaki because...
He should be playing it in front of him, you know. It doesn't have to be coming down out of the clouds, but we saw Cahill Naughton with a wide from way out the field. Michael Cusson a couple of balls in like that. And, you know, I think Tomas mentioned before, it's a big game for him, maybe trying that little bit too hard to get on the score sheet or whatever, but you have to be playing those balls from that distance out in front of the full forward line.
Puck out again from Clinton Hennessy. Ends up with Michael Cusson. Cahill Naughton leaves it. Sent in by Niall McCarthy, well gathered by Owen Murphy. And remember, there is a little bit of a mist here now in Semple Stadium falling, so it's going to make handling just that little bit more difficult. John Milan over the sideline ball for Cork.
And Marta, just make another point. Every ball doesn't have to go through Osaki or Halpin as well. You know, Pat Horgan is there having a great year, you know, great league campaign. Kieran Murphy, very accomplished hurler, and they're getting no ball at all. It's nearly as if everything has to come out of the clouds and down on top of Osaki, whereas you need to be bringing those lads into the game as well.
Scored 3 points in the drawn match, John Gardner. Cusson did well to keep it in. Brick Walsh cleaning up an awful lot of ball in that half back line. Batted down. Richie Foley and Stephen Malumphey there. It's Malumphey that has the possession. Tries to hand pass it. Great defending by Cork, 3 of them at the time. Cahill Naughton leaves it for Tom Kenny, who's now surrounded by 3 Waterford players. Pulled on by Seamus Prendergast. Referee is going to give a throw ball again. This is almost a replica of last Sunday, isn't it?
It's very, very similar, yeah. You know, a lot of hard tackling, a lot of lads, a lot of crowd. You know, I'd love to see Waterford if they spread out and played more traditional in their positions.
Fraggy aiming for Isaki. Knocked away. Ben O'Connor chasing after this. Nice stick work by O'Connor. Can't control it. Sideline ball.
You know, it's Waterford style. They bring so many players out the field, and obviously when the ball comes in, there's going to be a load of defenders around it. So I'd love if to just line up in their 6 forward positions and play their own area, but that's not the way they do it.
Owen Murphy has come across to take this. The Shamrocks club. Intermediate actually between Tallow and Youghal. Knockanore parish in West Waterford. Stalwart of this particular team for the last number of years. Not his best sideline cut, by the way. Still it's Brick Walsh. Has that nice habit with the hurley of laying it off. Long ball. Shane Walsh and Milan between them combined. The finish by Milan is superb. Second point for the De La Salle man, and it's 5 points to 3.
Yeah, great play by Shane Walsh again here. You know, lovely, just a simple little flick out and a simple score by John Milan.
Puck out down to Cusson. Declan Prendergast and Walsh waiting for it. This is Brick Walsh, thanks to the stick of Declan Prendergast. Ball into space, but it carried a little bit too much weight. Easy ball for Don Logue. Cusson, Gardner, available. Good understanding between left half and right half back. Down to Isaki, good control. Going to take a run at Liam Lawler. Our footballer is in the Piershik, by the way, but that's not his best pass. Easy ball for Shane O'Sullivan. Drives it long. Over towards Kevin Moran. Trying to get inside the cover of Shane Murphy. Sideline ball. Which way is it going? It's going to Waterford. Coming across to take it is Shane O'Sullivan. Former Fitzgibbon Cup winner 2 years ago now with WIT. Ballygunner man scored twice against Cork last Sunday. Sending it along the surface, it skids along all the way as far as John Gardner. Under a little bit of pressure from Shane Walsh. Undoubtedly he was fouled. And that is a free out for the Leesiders. A little bit of holding there.
Yeah, just a hurl was held there, yeah. It just shows you the intensity, though. The tackling is savage out there on both sides, and you know, low scoring, but as I said earlier, you know, still an interesting game.
Ronan Kern. Better ball for Isaki O'Halpine. well to gather. Lays it off to Cusson. Interception just about was by Brick Walsh. Hits it high. Owen Kelly, John Gardner. It would certainly appear that Owen Kelly was fouling John Gardner.
Yeah, he jumped straight into him. He wasn't facing the ball at all. Watched John Gardner raising the ball, and Owen Kelly just jumped straight into him.
John Gardner, 8 years playing with his county. Made his debut against Limerick back in 2002. Dropping this in. Plenty of big men around there. Don't get the possession. Cleared away by Richie Foley. Kevin Moore unable to keep it in. Sideline ball for Cork.
Yeah, very anxious. You know, that again there, plenty of time with the ball. He could have taken that in his hand and delivered it down the field. We've seen a lot of very loose shooting from both players out around the middle of the field, hitting balls wide and aimless balls into the forward line.
Tom Kenny going to take this sideline cut. Not his best either. Good block down by Cusson. Waterford regain possession. Shane O'Sullivan, judged by the referee to have been over-carrying, so it's a chance here for Cork. Will Ben O'Connor take it, or will he leave it for John Gardner?
Yeah, thought it looked harsh enough. Initially just flicked it on there. We don't really see there the steps that he took initially, but he tried to flick it on over the head. So we had one earlier on the other side, so these things tend to balance out.
Pat Cronin there with Dennis Walsh thinking about making a move, switch. John Gardner going for his second point here. And that ball is wide. 6 wides for Cork. By the way, Waterford have yet to register a single wide.
Yeah, it's unbelievably low score. All the plays, it's out over the line and wide, and no Cork forward has scored from play, which is unbelievable. At this level of hurling, it's just not good enough, really. Well, at any level of hurling, it's not good enough. That's what the forwards are there for.
Ronan Curran into the space. Pat Horgan, sideline ball again. Just out of interest, let me tell you that Ben O'Connor is the only Cork player to score so far in terms of the forwards. John Gardner from a 65, Cathal Naughton from midfield, and Ben O'Connor from a free. Niall McCarthy, Michael Cusson, Fraggy, Saki, Pat Horgan yet to score. And Waterford, it's Owen Kelly with 3, John Milan with 2. That's a far better sideline cut, but it's not so good the finish, I'm afraid. It looked good, it was going up into the air.
Cornerback, right half-back position for Cork. There's nobody in the left cornerback, left half position for Waterford. And, it's like somebody you'd see in a kids match, really. They're all following the ball and there's nobody holding their position.
That gives you an idea. One half of the field is just all full of players, the other half empty.
Well, one of the things, I only played one championship match in Thurles, but you dream about playing in Thurles. It's so big open pitch, and players just aren't using it. They're just all crowding it, and it's very, very tactical. And I wouldn't be a fan of that type of hurling. I think you should be playing in your position and go and win your position.
Like an under-14 game, you'll be telling the lads, spread it out, open it up, lads. Don't just follow the ball, but that's what at the moment is happening. Tony Brown is in there. So too is Brick Walsh. Shane O'Sullivan. All alone, Ronan Curran. Back down towards Fraggy Murphy. Pat Horgan. Michael Cusson is coming in first. Here's Fraggy, the captain. Floating one across. In the centre is Niall McCarthy. Can he get a touch? Good defending by Owen Murphy. And it's gone out over the line. Good defending by this man, it must be said.
Yeah, it was a brilliant ball by Kieran Murphy over to Niall McCarthy. And really should have done better. Great hook by Owen Murphy. Also having a very good year. Maybe a very underrated cornerback as well. Super hook there, but great ball by Fraggy Murphy. That's what he has, great vision. He's there to look up there. He'll see the ball coming over the heads.
Cork really have had the best of the goal scoring chances.
Well, they've had nearly all the play. They've had nearly all the play as well. Like Waterford are living off crumbs.
Here's Kevin Moore going through the centre. Scored last Sunday Oh, that's a brilliant bit of defending. Comes out for his own Kelly. Can he supply the finish? The umpire goes for the flag. 4 points for Owen Kelly in this match. That's his third.
Yeah, and the super point. If he hit it wide, Seamus Prendergast was completely free over here. You'll see him there in front of the goals. The ball really should have been flicked over them. But here's Shane O'Neill coming back, kept his eye on the ball all the way, and super defending.
6 chances for Waterford, 6 points.
And that illustrates what you were saying, Marty. Perfectly. Waterford are getting very, very little ball up the field, but they're very economical with it, whereas Cork are wasting a huge amount of possession. There's Brick again with another brilliant catch.
Looking around for a space to hit it into. John Milan. Not a great ball inside, I'm afraid, from Milan. It's easily cut out by Shane O'Neill. Looking sharp. Down towards Michael Cusson. Chasing after him is Noel Connors. This is going to be interesting. Still Cusson! Liam Lawler is there.
And great save by Clinton Hennessy. Marty there, I think we'll get a chance to see it again. A brilliant save by Hennessy.
And here comes Connors. Driving it along. Coming out to meet it is Shane Murphy. Gets there first. Crowd at the far side felt he had crossed the line. The linesman, James Owens, didn't. Ronan Curran dropping it in. There's a whistle that belongs to the referee being blown, and there's a free in for Cork. 3 goal scoring opportunities for Cork in this first half. But here's a brilliant save from Clinton Hennessy.
And he took plenty of steps too, Michael Cusson. It actually hit him, maybe he didn't save it. He just hit him on the shoulder there and back out, but he stood up well to it, and it didn't go into the net.
Gives you an idea of the angle that Ben O'Connor is facing. Squeezes it inside the right-hand post for his second point. 6 points to 4 in Semple Stadium.
See Liam Lawler down now. I saw Davey indicating over to him, pointing at his own hamstring. Whether it's just to slow down the play or that he genuinely hurt himself, I'm not sure.
Liam Lawler is obviously requiring the medical attention. Physio, Peter Kerwin. Sean O'Halpine there, centre of your picture, very disappointed. I was speaking to him before the game, in fact, and there was no way, although he was named in the starting 15, was he going to make it with a hamstring. He needs another week. And this man, happily enough, is able to resume his position at fullback. Clinton Hennessy driving the ball into the Cork half of the field. Well gathered by Seamus Prendergast. John Gardner coming in to challenge. Loose ball comes out for Shane O'Sullivan. Tackled by Ben O'Connor. In the eyes of the referee, it was a foul. Here's O'Sullivan. Here's O'Connor with the push. Free dead straight in front of the posts for the Daishies.
It could be Shane O'Neill that's down. Just seen it.
No, it is the hamstring, yeah.
It pulled up.
Ray Ryan that's coming on from Sarsfields.
Yeah, he came on last week. He's a good player, but he the skill that he's gone. The indication is that he's gone. He's after pulling the hamstring.
So that's 2 of the first choice from the Cork defence that's now gone. Sean O'Halpine since last Sunday, and Shane O'Neill now. So big blows to the Leesiders. Ray Ryan gets his chance. He's going to be introduced in just a moment. And certainly I think Dennis Walsh will be happy to draw breath at half-time. His team have been dominating, particularly around the half-back line and midfield areas, but they haven't really been scoring.
No, and it's down to a lot of the ball that they're playing in. You know, it's not traditional Cork fast ball in front of their full forward line. It's just sort of lobbing it in, hoping for the best. And just because you have a big man in there doesn't mean he's going to win sort of aimless high balls.
Owen Kelly standing over this. 2 additional minutes, as you can see on your screen. as we take the point from Owen Kelly. 5 points for Owen Kelly in this first half. Into injury time now in this first half in Semple Stadium. It's almost a replica of the first half that we saw last Sunday, which was a bit disappointing. Scooped away this time by Owen Cadigan. Sideline ball for Waterford. David Fitz is trying to reorganise his defence while this sideline ball is being taken. Telling players to, as you can see, go forward. Try and get another score before the break. Shane O'Sullivan as well, capable of dropping this into Shane Walsh. Cuts it crossfield instead, over towards Seamus Prendergast. First touch for Ray Ryan. Line ball for Waterford. Thought about the quick ball. Going to leave it. Going across is Richie Foley. Scored a point against Tipperary in the Munster final last year, Richie Foley. And of course injured his finger and his left hand last Sunday week. And played with those couple of stitches in his second finger and left hand, and really he was disappointed being taken off. But look at this. More than made up for it. First point for Richie Foley from Abbey side in County Waterford. And this is a thing of beauty when it's done properly.
Yeah, and a fine game he's having too, Richie Foley. Much better today, the stitches out, and hurling a lot more freely than last weekend.
Well, it certainly has brightened up the first half, Richie Foley, with that wonderful sideline cut. Certainly Waterford will be happy to go in.
Marty Morrissey, thank you for the moment. Tomas Mulcahy and the lads here with me in studio. Tomas, you're behind, you're 4 points behind.
Yeah, Michael, I suppose you'd be very disappointed if you're a Cork man, certainly as a manager of the team, and certainly sitting here you'd be disappointed as well. I mean, we've got 1 point from playing the first half, 35 minutes hurling. It has come from a midfielder, and the rest have come from a 65 and freeze, and that's not kind of what Cork hurling was about and stuff, certainly. And I suppose you've got to give, again, I say you've got to give credit to Waterford, because they have brought the extra man. We mentioned about Malumphey coming away out, and he's crowded that midfield area. There's been very little space. It's been a very low scoring game, and that doesn't suit Cork hurling. And certainly, I mean, it doesn't suit the forwards that are there, but there's so much ball that is so one dimension. It's so pedestrianised, I mean, on the basis of either hit it, and I mean, there's balls gone into, exactly, we mentioned about getting direct ball in, but you put a direct ball in, you put it in quick, you put it outside your man, you put it in different angles and stuff like that. I mean, and Cousin hit one ball there in the first half. Jeez, there was snow coming down off the ball. It went so high, so that's not certainly the tack that I would have felt that Cork were going into it.
Morrissey said in the commentary, the pattern is almost the same as it was last week.
It is, no doubt about it, right? And I suppose they can be, you can talk about the goal chances were there, certainly. I mean, maybe they could have got one of those goals and it would be kind of your point behind it that stage, but it isn't reflective of what's there. I think there's a bit more hunger in the Waterford guys, there is a bit more cohesion there, and they have the scoring forwards. Milan gets a ball, Kelly gets a ball, and they're getting points.
We'll hear from the other two lads in a while, but it's time for us to take it.
Michael, forget about the soccer board. You'd hope it's not going on the road of football where everybody's going back behind the ball, and all of a sudden it's throwing the ball, and there's a there is a touch about it, and it is, I mean, from a neutral point of view, it is affecting the game of hurling, certainly. We're not seeing the high scoring games we've seen in the past, and it is having a big impact, certainly.
Well, I tell you, in all our time coming to Thurles, we've always heard about the open space at Thurles and using the open space at Thurles. They're all running after the ball, as Michael Dydon said there. They're all over the right-hand side one. They're all over the left-hand side. You look out, there are huge tracts of land with nobody in it, not even a forward or a back. Like, if these are tactics, they're crazy tactics on both sides now, in fairness.
Yes.
Now, the only good hurling that has been done and the only good ball that's been laid in has been by Waterford, funny enough. They've got about, I think, four or five chances of points from play, and they've taken them. They've taken their chances. The ball to Milan, ball into him, and at least he's a skillful forward, and when he gets a chance, he can put it over the bar.
Mind you, if Cork had taken some of the goal chances they got in that match, we'd have a lot of scores in it.
Yeah, this is the thing, like, there's a lot of ball, it's got very slippy now, the pitch is a little bit light rain, and the chance...
In that first half. Now, it ended up more or less between Isaki and Liam Lawler, the Waterford full-back. A couple of other players got involved, first of all. What do you make of this?
Well, like the thing is, there was a little bit of, look, there's handbags too, first of all. Noel Connor's here, just tipping around now. Saki comes in now. This is the trouble. Laura comes out, dumps him in the back. Saki put their heads into another, and a little flick here. And you see, get him down underneath. It looks like it. Now here, there's a better angle here, and if he does,
I think it's to watch his Saki's hurley here.
Watch his hurley. He's going to be in trouble if this happens. But like, it's hard to judge it fully here. Look at here, just a little flick and down you go. But I don't think it looks very bad. It looks bad for Saki, but like he hopped.
It looks worse for Liam Lawler, I can assure you.
Well, he hopped up after us out. He did hop up and play off. Wasn't that bad? He was only
It must have been slightly off target because Laura was laughing after it. I tell you, if it was on target, you wouldn't be laughing.
It was the helium gas, I think, that he got as a result of that. Okay, well, just to tell you, the lights are on here in Thurles because it is getting quite dark, obviously, at this hour of the evening, 8 o'clock. There will be extra time if this ends in all square at the end of normal time. Hopefully that won't happen, but well, there are plenty of lights here in Thurles, so we'll be okay. We have another break to take.
First half certainly maybe would have been a different story, you know, but I mean, Shane O'Neill gone off, Michael, is a huge loss now.
It is, yes.
And it really is a test of character of Cork now, and see what strength and depth we have. Those guys who have been on the squad, been on the panel for the last while.
Jared, very briefly.
You know?
The only straw we can cling to, Michael, is so far it has been Groundhog Day. Same, you know, it's very, very same as last Sunday. So hopefully, last Sunday, great second half. Hopefully, we're hoping anyway, that it will be at least better than what we saw in the first half.
Time to rejoin our commentary team here in Semple Stadium. Marty Morrissey, Michael Dignan.
Thank you very much, Michael. I hope Ger Lucknan is right. As Waterford and Cork, well, the first half was pretty poor, to be honest with you. Let's hope it is a repeat of last Sunday. Here's Milan, off the post. Chance here. Good defending by Brian Murphy. Good work indeed by Cork defence that has been, for the first time, tested in terms of a goal-scoring opportunity. Niall McCarthy. Diagonal ball. Sends down towards Paddy O'Sullivan. As Michael mentioned, substituted half-time for Patrick Horgan. Scored freely against Tipperary, you will recall, with 2-1, but really hasn't produced it since. And here's a man who's very much in form, O'Sullivan. Turns left, turns right, hits it onto his right and puts it over the bar. So already the substitution has worked for Cork.
Yeah, bad mistake there by Declan Prendergast. Tried to hand pass it back, put Owen Murphy under pressure, and for a second he might have been in on goal, but lovely finish, shortened up the grip at Hurling and tapped it over the bar. And John Milan, probably one of his easiest chances that normally for him he'd stick that one over, hit the post, and I think Kevin Moore maybe panicked a bit coming in, tried to pull on it, could have controlled the ball maybe, but good start by Cork.
Waterford took 8 scoring chances. They took 8 points out of it, and not a single wide. Isaki looking good. 6'7" combination, the Twin Towers. And already we have a far better second half in the opening 2 minutes or so than we had over 37 of the first. But Isaki and Cusson, good combination, good finish.
Yeah, the big difference there, Marty, Cahill knocked in the ball into space, you know, nice height on it, not too high, and Saki was able to grab it and lay off a nice pass to Cusson over the bar. Simple score.
Nipping in Richie Foley, going back to try and gather it. Under pressure, Ray Ryan. Cahill Naughton is outside him, Ray Ryan is fouled. And the fists are clenched with some of the Cork players, so I'm pretty sure that Dennis Wall said, you know, lads, you want to kind of sort yourselves out.
Yeah, well, you know, we said it all during the first half. Very poor forward play, particularly in the first half, but much brighter start by Cork.
Not a good ball, however, from John Gardner, giving his fellow Northsider from the Cork City no chance. Davy Fitzgerald's tactics, by the way, is to crowd it out as much as possible. And the shot you just saw on your television screen is getting the forwards to come out around the midfield area and crowd it. And as you said to me at half-time, Michael, it's all about making space.
Yeah, no, everyone's in a heap. No, again, no left half our position, you know, but if it works, it's great. And they don't care if it's low scoring if to win the game, but I don't, you know, I prefer to see more traditional and lads playing their position.
Malumphey to Walsh. Kind of rushed that particular shot. Donald Cusick decided not to let it go out over the end line. And away comes Donald. Goals for distance. Frankie Murphy about to gather. Didn't fall his way. Gathered instead by Brick Walsh. Referee indicates it is a free for Waterford.
I think Brick has complained there that maybe Ben O'Connor's, you know, you see the foul there clearly, that he came back with the the boot onto him.
Would have been accidental, I would imagine.
Well, it's not like Ben O'Connor, you know,
Not
so
at all.
you have to give him the benefit of the doubt.
Long ball. Dropping right in. Donald Cusick. Despite the fact that there's 22,763, you can hear him say, "My ball," up here. On what is now a historic evening in Semple Stadium, Thurles. First Munster final under lights.
Yeah, Donlogue made that look very easy, but you know, on a wet, damp evening like this, difficult ball to take and right under his own crossbar.
Semple Stadium certainly looks a little bit different when you switch on the lights. Sideline ball, well hit. Up goes John Gardner. Loose ball picked up by Brian Murphy, or at least attempting, read it well. Looking around, Niall McCarthy calls for it this side. Good play by Murphy. Let's see what McCarthy does. He's dropping it in towards Isaki. Paddy O'Sullivan is around there as well. Isaki gathers. Liam Lawler stands his ground courageously. Still Isaki tries the second time to break down the Waterford wall. Back out to Paddy O'Sullivan. The umpires have a brief little glance at each other, and that's Paddy O'Sullivan's second point.
Yeah, much more decisive play by the Cork forwards. Niall McCarthy is drifting way out the field here, picking up ball. You see Tony Brown trying to get the half hour to come back and help, but Tony is trying to stay in position. Niall McCarthy has picked up a couple of great balls and a great diagonal ball again into space there, and Isaki picked it up and laid it off nicely to Paddy O'Sullivan. That's his second point since coming on.
So the substitute has scored twice from play, where others had failed to register a single score in that opening half. Here's Noel Connors. Tenacious defending by the left corner back. Nice little flick onto Malumphey, and then he hits the stone wall by the name of Ronan Curran. And Malumphey is down like a bag of spuds, and certainly Brian Gavin is not taking any dissent whatsoever. Ronan Curran immediately disagreed with the official's decision, and I think by his actions there he certainly showed that he was the boss.
Yeah, just see. Yeah, see, it's into the. We've talked about this over the last few weeks, and you know, okay, while he was crouched down a bit, he got it in the head, but like that's the way it is. The rule is now, anything in that area, it's going to be a free yellow card usually as well. So I don't think Ronan Curran can have any complaint there. He caught him in the chest.
A word from Davy Fitzgerald to Seamus Prendergast, and it should be also noted that Stephen Malumphey doesn't get involved in theatrics.
No, he's tough, but just I mentioned Niall McCarthy again on the last ball. He won it again way out the field, and I think that's what Davy is saying to whoever's on that wing, Kevin Moore and Seamus Prendergast. You have to come back and cover that space.
Owen Kelly with the fray, and the point. 6 points for Owen Kelly. Into the middle, loose ball. Picked up here by Ray Rye. Referee blows the whistle. Going to be a free, and coming across is Ben O'Connor. He's a man who knows what it takes. Davy Fitz has won 2 All-Irelands himself, 3 Munster Championships, 3 All-Stars. Now manager, of course, for Waterford with just over 2 years and a month. As Gerald Nan was mentioning in half-time with Michael, like he's settled into the role, and his fingerprints are now on this Waterford team. As Ben O'Connor takes the fray and registers his 3rd point of the game. And Cork now just 1 point adrift.
Yeah, that's a super point. Great leadership, I think, shown by Ben O'Connor there. Normally John Gardner takes those long-range frees, but you know, Ben just took on the mantle there from over the halfway line straight over the bar.
Long took out again. Clinton Hennessy, Ray Ryan, Niall McCarthy steps inside the challenge, lays it off. Whereas Cahill knocked it. Michael Cusson has gone left. Fraggy has gone right. It's aimed for Cusson, stepping inside, loses out between Brick Walsh and Tony Brown. Back to the Brick, steps by the challenge and continues to do this little nice soft pass with the hurling, one-handed. Richie Foley launches a high dropping ball, but I'm afraid it's heading towards Tremor. It ain't going toward the bar, that's for sure.
Yeah, you know, we saw Cork at that in the first half. We didn't see Waterford doing it.
And that, Michael, is Waterford's first wide of the game.
Yeah. Well, I'm not surprised that they've had so little ball. You know, really Cork have had an awful lot of possession, and you know, coming back into the game now. But a bad ball in there, you know, should have went into. Stephen Malumphey should have delivered earlier to John Milan.
Ben O'Connor under a little bit of pressure. Declan Prendergast did well. Combination of himself and Tony Brown deprived the Newtown Sandrum and possession. Owen Murphy, good pressure by Frankie Murphy. Here's Niall McCarthy. The umpire signals wide. Scored 5 points against Limerick in the Munster semi-final. Scored a point last Sunday. Still a tremendous worker.
He is, Marty, like that. I was just going to say, he's not scoring it. You can carry 1 or 2 forwards like that are working so hard. He's delivering some great ball in a great game last week, and he's playing very, very well again tonight.
John Milan, sideline ball, goes to Cork.
You can see a lot more urgency in the Cork players now in the second half. You know, they're urging each other on, driving each other on, and you know, they know if they can up the tempo that the game is there to be won.
John Gardner going to take this. Good ball as well, up towards Cusson. Took the hit from Michael Brick Walsh. Referee blows his whistle immediately. Former Waterford captain is asking for what? Let's see here. Was that a foul, Michael?
Yeah, he just mistimed it and caught him in the back. Michael Cousin much more influential now since half-time. Had a quiet first half. Brick Walsh dominated, but he scored a point and fouled for that free, and much more involved in the game.
If Ben O'Connor puts this over, it'll be the first time the counties are level. This replay, he drives it in low, and it's gone all the way into the back of the net. A rasper that fooled everybody, but more importantly, fooled the Waterford keeper Clinton Hennessy. It looked like a simple tap over, but he drove it right into the corner, almost off the post, into the back of the net. Waterford are rocked. Cork are inspired by Ben O'Connor, even if it takes just a little fraction of luck. Seamus Prendergast dropping it in. It's a waste of possession. Donald O'Cusick floats it very high, dropping out of the night sky at this stage. Brick Walsh over towards Tony Brown. Isaki O'Halpine coming in to challenge. Perhaps now we'll do away with game plans and defensive strategies and just deal with the heart and soul of hurling. Let it fly. Free out for Cork. And you could just watch the body language of the Cork lads. I didn't see it in the first half, but in the second half, they're clapping each other on the back, they're showing each other clenched fists, and they shouldn't be getting involved in any sort of verbal exchanges. But they are playing with greater intensity.
Yeah, you can see it, Marty, since half-time. They came out in the second half, much more life in them. Just go back to that free from Ben O'Connor. You know, most people, I think, will think he mishit it or whatever, but I have a feeling that he might have went for that, just the way he put a bit of topspin on it.
And Waterford under pressure again. Owen Murphy. Cusson comes in. Kicks it forward. Paddy O'Sullivan was coming through. Good defending by Liam Lawler. Little chink to the right, then to the left. Puts it down the middle towards Kevin Moore. Good work by Shane Murphy. Flicking it forward for as Cahill knocked it. Good vision, good pass. Over this side is Niall McCarthy. Didn't spot him. Goes down the middle channel. Paddy O'Sullivan, Fraggy is there, so too is Cusson. Ben O'Connor comes in to challenge. Manages to get it. Fires the captain, Stephen Malumphey. Was John Milan being held? Was Brian Murphy fouling? Waterford players protesting. Milan was doing it as well. He's looking over at Dickie Murphy, the linesman, to say, where are the officials here?
There's certainly holding going on there. You know, it's hard for the ref to see everything, but Dickie Murphy was looking right in front of it there.
There's a change in the Waterford attack, and it's Brian O'Halloran that's coming on, and Seamus Prendergast is the player that's making way. And O'Halloran, a Waterford minor last year, and in case you've just joined us, he's just done his leaving cert. But he's a player with huge potential. Cahill Naughton. Isaki. 3 Waterford players, 1 Corkman with the help of Boddy O'Sullivan. He's bursting forward, he's inside the large rectangle. He goes down, but the referee says he took too many steps. Cathal Naughton is furious with the official, by the way, and actually approached the man in yellow and black. There's an extra 13 metres for descent by Cathal Naughton, and there's a free for Waterford.
Yeah, it was Cathal Naughton first of all, then Paddy O'Sullivan.
And there's a yellow card for Paddy O'Sullivan. But I think it was the fact that Isaki made it inside the large rectangle and then he went down.
Then he went down. It looked like a dive to me.
Yeah, it looked like it was a bit of a plan on behalf of Isaki. Here's Waterford now. Chance sent over the crossbar. Good play by the substitute, Brian O'Halloran.
Yeah, that'll give him great confidence just on the field. Nice simple chance, don't get any easier than that. Well done by Brian O'Halloran.
It's like a mirror image of last Sunday. Poor first half, much better second half. But do you think Ben O'Connor went for that?
I think he might have, yeah. Just looking at the way, if we see it again maybe later, the way if you watch his hurl, he didn't look like he was following through to tuck it over the bar. He kind of stopped his strike, and with a bit of topspin, looked like to me he went for the top corner.
We'll have a look at it when we get a chance, because the game is being played at such a fast pace. It's fairly hectic. Tony Brown, that's a beautiful cut. Up towards Shane Walsh, knocked away. Ronan Curran is there. Dominant, comes back for his Brian Murphy. Cadigan is there as well. And it's Cork that look to have a little bit more confidence at the moment. Cathal Naughton tussling with Shane Walsh, has to go left, gets a little bit of distance. Shane O'Sullivan bravely puts up the left hand. Tom Kenny comes into challenge. Crossfield ball aimed it over towards John Milan, comes down towards Malumpi. Here's Milan. This time he gets a free, and Milan not quite lighting the challenge, but to his credit he's trying to inspire his colleagues here.
There wasn't a whole lot in that. I'd say he got that from the. We've just watched Ben O'Connor here. I just have a feeling that he might have. If you just watch it, he didn't really follow through. He just kind of placed it. Maybe not. Maybe he mishit it. It'd be some. If he did go for it, it was some skill to see him off his line. Yeah, but Ben will surely tell us anyway the truth when we catch up with him.
He'll say he meant it.
He'll say he meant it. Yeah.
Another point for Owen Kelly. 7 points for him. And they're level for the first time after 51 minutes of play. Just a factor to notice as well that Ben O'Connor was facing into the breeze when taking that free. Not too sure it had a factor in it. It could have been the fact that it's raining here now in Perlis. Misty.
It doesn't really matter or not. It's up on the scoreboard now, and hopefully we'll have a great last 20 minutes. Much better start to the second half, and really set up now for a nail-biting finish. 20 minutes to go.
Ronan Curran is fouled. 3 times an All-Ireland medalist, 5 Munster championships. Ben O'Connor. This time they sent it wide. Sides remain level. 53 minutes played.
And he scored a much more difficult one from out here in front of us a few minutes ago, and that was a bad wide from straight in front of the goals.
Knocked down by Tom Kenny. Ray Ryan coming in. Shane O'Sullivan is there for Waterford. Managed to get it up. Tom Kenny. Now Shane has it eventually. Tries to give it back. It's a terrible ball, but that's a well won by John Milan. Chasing after him, Owen Cadigan. Milan from the sideline. Under pressure. Incredible point. It's his 3rd of the Munster final replay. And Waterford fans rejoice. And rightly so. This took a bit of bravery, a bit of judgment. And what about this for a wallop of skill?
Unbelievable score.
Niall McCarthy. Picked up by Richie Foley. Dropping it in. Who has the ball? Shane Walsh. Fabulous catch. Turns onto the left and puts it over the bar.
That's another fantastic score, Marty. Shane Walsh is not that big, but he went to the clouds for that one. Look at that, brilliant catch. in behind Brian Murphy. Got up very, very quickly off the ground. You know, a simple finish at the end, but a brilliant catch. And you know, just when it looked like maybe Cork were getting, here you see him eyes on the ball all the way, just floated in behind Brian Murphy. Great catch.
Didn't score in the drawn game, but that's a crucial point. And it's a response by Waterford in terms of their character, like they did last Sunday. After Ben O'Connor's goal, they've responded with 2 really magnificent points by Milan and Shane Walsh. Is it enough to turn the tide? Rick Walsh stopped this time. Cussett. Ball falls for Fraggy. Cork captain is pulled to the ground. Free for the Leesiders.
Yeah, Armin again around the neck. Great block there by Michael Cusson again on Brick. Really, Brick should have had it cleared. You see John Milan now gone into the normal right corner where he plays Shane Walsh in at full forward. I think he'll be much happier. He just has that sort of movement of a full forward, and Milan will have a little bit more room maybe in the corner.
Ben O'Connor going to take this. He's already scored a goal and 3 points in this match. That's the angle. This time he gives it plenty of elevation. Another crucial score. Keeps Cork just 1 point adrift. Looks like last Sunday we're going to have an exciting last 15 minutes. Whipped away brilliantly. Comes down towards Niall McCarthy. Tony Brown with him. McCarthy operating as always out at left half forward. There's a tussle, there's a struggle between Brian Murphy and John Milan. Still Milan. Battling this time with Ronan Curran. Milan takes a dive. Brian Murphy to Owen Caddigan. Good play by the Cork defence. Drives it long up towards Fraggy Murphy. Scoops it up, gathers despite the attention of 3 Waterford defenders. Goes all the way back. Fires Ray Ryan. Quickly dispatches it far as John Gardner. He's going for the score. At least he's going for a Saki. The call comes from Clinton Hennessy. Declan Prendergast tells him to keep going. He's going straight down the middle. Touched just a little bit by Kevin Moore. Gone back there is Shane Murphy. Under pressure from Brian O'Halloran. The attempted pass doesn't work out, but Murphy has it again. Tenacious play by the wing back from cornerback. Tries to flick it away. Knocked indeed by Tom Kenny. Overfires the midfielder Carl Naughton. Dropping it in. It's a Saki that's chasing after it. Clinton Hennessy can only wave at it. Great score. 110 to 13 points. Level for the second time this Munster final replay. And like last Sunday, Cathal Naughton has scored 2 points.
Yeah, great point. Lovely little assist there again by Michael Cusson. And Kieran Murphy is coming out around the half hour and winning plenty of ball out there as well. Great catch there by Kevin Moore.
It's Moore, De La Salle. Lays it off for his own Kelly. And the umpire this time is going to wave wide. Disappointment for Owen Kelly on this particular occasion.
Yeah, and you know, he's a key man for Waterford now in the last 15 minutes. He has all the ability in the world. Having a quietish enough game, though, he still scored 2 points from play and scoring all his frees, which you'd love to see him a bit more involved in the overall game.
Kevin Moore and Ronan Curran continue to get to know each other, and Brian Gavin is telling the 2 lads to hop onto themselves. Long ball by Donald O'Cusick. Up goes Tony Brown. Gives it down for his own Kelly. Pumps it in towards the corner. Owen Caddigan. Just a nice little touch on Shane Walsh in the pursuit of the slither. Enough to put Walsh off. Enough to gain possession and ultimately win the free. He's impressive, Owen Caddigan. Probably a little bit more so than last Sunday.
Yeah, he is indeed. Yeah. He's commanding down there. See him driving out with the ball. I always feel sorry for forwards in this position, when to tackle. Anytime to tackle, it tends to be a free against him, but he was definitely holding him up there.
Just by our calculations up here in the commentary box, scoring chances for Cork are 11 out of 22, Waterford 13 out of 18. I'll just give you the way the game is going at the moment. Liam Lawler shows why he was on the Waterford senior football team last year. Free for the foul on Owen Kelly. No doubt I think about the foul here. Here's the kick. Here's the push by John Gardner.
Yeah, poor free to give away really there. You know, the ball had run past him, and
that looks like Maurice Shanahan that's going to be introduced. Younger brother of Dan the Man from Lismore, under 21 player from last year that lost the Munster under 21 final on a lovely evening in Dungarvan to Clare. Good forward, we'll see more of him. But first, it's a free for Owen Kelly, just inside his own half of the field. It's a great puck of a ball into the left hand of Donal O'Cusick. Back out to Declan Prendergast, sideline ball. Now the substitution is going to take place, and Maurice Shanahan is coming on for Shane Walsh. Change in the Waterford attack. Shane Walsh will possibly be disappointed.
Yeah, I thought he did well. You know, I suppose they're trying to change things and they're playing off a squad. You know, that's the way they operate. But you know, he had a couple of assists, scored a great pointer a couple of minutes ago, and you know, he did his piece for certainly for Waterford this evening.
Referee indicates it's a Waterford ball. As you can see down at the other end, Liam Lawler is having difficulty. Had to come off the last day with knee problems, and it looks like it's the same old dilemma. Well, we've 10 minutes left in the Munster final replay. What are the bets on extra time? Owen Kelly standing over this. Well within his range. Difficult angle. He runs away in that traditional style that suggests that was a successful attempt. 8 points for Owen Kelly this evening.
Yeah, Marty, again, I mentioned O'Logue made a couple of catches making it look easy, and he made that look so easy. That's a very, very difficult free. Bad evening, raining out there, and from a very difficult angle straight over the bar. Yeah, you know, I often hear lads saying, you know, he just scores some frees, any of these lads, whether it be Owen Kelly, Henry Shefflin, Owen Kelly from Tip or Joe Canning, but they have to be scored. You know, like the pressure on there on every time you stand over the ball, and none of them scores are easy. They have to be put over the bar.
You know, the Ben O'Connor goal, Michael, if I recall, Paul Flynn did something similar a couple of years ago as well for Waterford.
He definitely meant it.
He'll be really grateful for that comment, Michael. Anyway, back to this particular Munster final replay. Tom Kenny. Shane O'Sullivan is back there helping on his defence. Flicks it out for Niall McCarthy. Continues to do Trojan work out in the wing. Ball into the middle. Cusson to Fraggy. To Cusson. Trouble here for Waterford. He's inside this time, and the referee indicates it's a penalty. Great combination play between the Sarsfields double act. Cusson, 6'7". Kieran Murphy might only be 5'8", but they do work well.
He's a very, very clever hurler, though. You know, we're always saying that Michael Cusson was waiting. You know, really there was no need to tackle him. There was plenty of cover there. Actually, Liam Lawler was coming over into the picture, but Liam Lawler had the route to goal blocked maybe, but he was definitely pulled down.
Yellow card, by the way, for Richie Foley, and he's on the line along with his goalkeeper Clinton Hennessy and Shane O'Sullivan.
And John Gardner up to take it from wing back.
A crucial moment with 7 minutes left in the Munster final replay. Could well give Cork their 52nd Munster title. Clinton Hennessy fully focused on the goal line. Here it comes. Brilliantly saved. And Hennessy and O'Sullivan between them deflected it over the crossbar. John Gardner has to be satisfied with his second point. Let's see who got the vital touch. He drove it straight at Clinton Hennessy and O'Sullivan. I think we'll give it the credit. This angle will definitely tell us.
Yeah,
both of them really.
Probably O'Sullivan, I'd say, got maybe the stronger touch on it. And you know, crucial, as you said, all square now, and 7 or 8 minutes to go.
Donal Cusick, fine goalkeeper, good hands on a wet, miserable evening now here in Semple Stadium. You wouldn't think by your pictures, but there is a mist around the Premier County on this particular Saturday evening. Paddy O'Sullivan in towards Isaki O'Halpine. Flicks it, he tried to flick it in towards the path of Niall McCarthy. Well picked up by Tony Brown. Not good for a 37-year-old. But you know what? He won't mind if he gets a Munster Championship medal.
No, he did very well. He drove out the ball there and caught by Paddy O'Sullivan.
Between Isaki and Paddy O'Sullivan, Tony Brown was definitely fouled.
Yeah, well, it's a bad evening out there, but the tackling has been very, very, tenacious on both sides since the start of the game. Both forward lanes in particular working very, very hard when they don't have the ball.
They've been levelled 3 times in this Munster final replay. As Cork make another change, Luke O'Farrell from Middleton is going to come on. Saw him play against Limerick in the Munster Championship, and he looked the part, or I should say in the league, and certainly played well. As Isaki is the one that's going to make way.
No, he's not.
No, he's not.
It's Kieran Murphy who's got
Kieran Murphy that's got. Isaki looked like he was coming over to the sideline, and in fact Isaki is coming out towards the corner rather than the sideline.
Yeah, Kieran Murphy again, maybe we said it about Shane Walsh, but I thought Kieran Murphy very, very good game this evening when he was on the ball. I'm surprised he's taken off a clever player like that. And a few minutes to go he could create a score.
Ronan Carr had to let the ball go. A little bit of pressure here. Good stick work by Brian O'Halloran. Half blocked by Tom Kenny. Comes down towards Brian Murphy. John Milan, here's Gardner. Tries to get by the initial challenge provided by the former Waterford minor. Down towards Paddy O'Sullivan and Luke O'Farrell. Declan Prendergast can only guide it over the sideline. Sideline ball for Cork. 4 minutes left in this Munster final replay. Four minutes to go. What do you think? Call it.
I don't know, Marty. It can go either way at this stage. Brian O'Halloran there, got a good point since he came on. Showed his inexperience a little bit there. A loose man outside him. A simple hand pass was all that was needed. I think John Milan was outside him. He should have flicked it out to him.
Poor ball from Ben O'Connor. Owen Kelly sends it into the middle towards Richie Foley. Down the wing. Coming across John Milan. Owen Cadogan will claim that was a shoulder. The referee disagrees, and he's given a free to Waterford.
Yeah, and in fairness, John Milan, he doesn't go down easily. He takes a lot of belts. Yeah, into the back of the shoulder, definitely. Again, nothing too malicious, but John, he went down fairly heavy, and it's, as I say, he takes a lot of belts and not want to complain in fairness to him.
Another change along the sideline, by the way, as Waterford introduced Jamie Nagle, and it's Liam Lawler that's gone off. But Jamie Nagle, who played wing back last Sunday.
He did, he played well when he went on, and Declan Prendergast gone back. He didn't look overly enthused by the move there, looking at his body language, but he's gone back in there now and it's like there's a huge free now with a couple of minutes to go.
Owen Kelly, you can see he's literally centimetres in from the sideline. John Milan scored a magnificent point earlier from along that particular side of the field. This is looking wide. 68 minutes played, sides level.
Yeah, well, you asked me who'll win, Marty. I predicted if there was another score, I said that'll be it. It's been a very, very low scoring game, and the next score is going to be crucial.
Far better second half though, Michael, thankfully.
Much better second half, even though it's low scoring. Yeah, great intensity out there on both sides.
Owen Kelly, can he produce a moment of magic? John Gardner goes in pursuit. Owen Kelly is going the scenic route all along, leaving Gardner on his trail. Here comes the cross, or is it more than that? It's another wide off the stick of Owen Kelly. Referee Brian Gavin has blown his whistle again, and again he's not allowing the quick puck out.
The players have to be outside the 21, Marty, that's the rule, and he's adhering to that.
2 additional minutes to be played here. It's quite tense around Semple Stadium. 2 minutes of additional time. We're into the last minute. Brilliantly caught in the air by, lovely scale by Michael Brick Walsh. to his captain, Stephen Malumphey. Brought down on the 65-metre line.
Again, I see players arguing. I don't understand it. That's a blatant free, straight in front of the referee, and Michael Cusson up arguing with him, and see Ronan Curran coming out now as well. Crazy stuff.
Yellow card for Ray Ryan.
But Marty, before that, one of the best pieces of skill of the game, Michael Walsh, brilliant catch over Michael Cusson's head, and then a lovely flick over the head to come out, and a good pass to Stephen Malumphey. You see the catch here now, and it drives out it then. Did he throw it up? He might have fouled it. It wasn't that great. It was a brilliant piece of
You've just
jumping.
changed your mind.
Well, it was still a great piece of skill, but he got away with it.
But it looked really good. I'd agree with you, Mike. I thought it was wonderful initially, at least. Now, Owen Kelly going for the winner, perhaps, here, and going for Waterford's 9th championship title in the province of Munster. Kelly hits it. Kelly looks. Ball is wide.
Yeah, that's a bad miss, Marty. It could be a Munster title gone down the drain just there.
We're into injury time. A minute and a half left in Thurles. Who can produce the magic? Here's a man who can do it, but he's way out around midfield. John Milan over to the far side. Shane Murphy. Good play by Waterford, it must be said, by Brian O'Halloran, and that's going to be a free for Cork. The first minute of additional time is almost completed. Is this trophy going to Cork or going to Waterford? The president checks his watch. Time almost up for the Leesiders and the Deshis. Are we about to have extra time? Up goes big Michael Cusson. He's looking to go for it. He's dropping it in. Clinton Hennessy has to get a touch here. Good hands by the Waterford keeper. More than making up for perhaps the Ben O'Connor shot that beat him earlier in the second half. 30 seconds left. Out fares Ben O'Connor. Hits it low down towards Cusson. O'Connor gone for the return pass. Thou shalt not foul. The 11th commandment must be the rule now for both Cork and Waterford. It's a scramble. Referees still there watching. Line ball going to Waterford. 5 seconds left. Can I say now, Michael, I fancy extra time.
Yeah, it looks like it now.